I'm going to be talking about every pick in the 2025 NBA draft, grading it, and just talking about some of the surprises and some steals in the draft. So first, I'm just going to breeze through the first two, Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper, both really great picks. Both are, especially Cooper, generational talents, and they're definitely going to help their teams who are pretty good and going to try to compete next year. For number three, VJ Edgecombe, that's a pretty solid pick as well. He is a athletic player who could defend and could fit in well with the 76ers. At four, Khan Kanubo, he is a solid pick. They could have maybe added a Trey Johnson or Ace Bailey, but Khan is another great offensive player who could help this young core of the Hornets. Five, Ace Bailey. This is a really good pick if he wants to be there because Ace is a very tremendous talent, and he is definitely going to be a player that could possibly be number one option for the Jazz and going to be a great scorer for them. So this is a great pick. Trey Johnson, also another great pick. The Wizards just added more veterans with Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum recently, but I believe Trey adds another offensive scorer, and this young core the Wizards are building is pretty good. Jeremiah Fears. Now this is a pretty solid player because DeJounte Murray is out for the rest of the year. I mean, not rest of the year, like maybe like at least to start with an Achilles injury. Jeremiah Fears is a young talent, young guard who, you know, it's pretty like good scorer, just another young player to help Zion Williamson and them because they kind of need a point guard right now. Right now it's Jose Alvarado. Jose is like, a solid player, but as a starter, I don't know. So with Fears, it will be a solid like player to at least maybe play some minutes at the point guard position. Then Jaeger Demon. Okay, this is a solid pick, but it's a surprising pick. Jaeger Demon is someone who was mocked maybe like late tens, but he got up to 8, which is kind of crazy. The Nets overall, I didn't like their draft, but Demon I guess has like some potential if he can score. Great facilitator. So I like that for the Nets who just need some more talent right now. They don't really have any point guards out there either. But their later picks are kind of confusing. Colin Murray Boyles for the Raptors is another solid pick now. The Raptors could have used a center, but adding more forward depth is always great. And you know that the Raptors always add forwards. Then Kaman Malawach going to the Phoenix Suns is a really good pick. I projected him to go around 7-8, but he actually went 10, slid down a bit, and now he is playing with the Suns, who also just traded for Mark Williams, and they have a ton of centers and guards. They don't have any wings. I would have liked them to get a wing possibly after trading for Mark Williams, but Kaman is a talent that is too like big to just skip over. So I think this is a pretty solid pick. Cedric Howard getting traded to the Grizzlies, and I feel like he is one of the better players for a win now team. He is a great 3 and D wing. Shoot, he can definitely shoot. And I think that like he's gonna be a great fit as there's another forward that the Grizzlies can play. Noah Senge for the Bulls. I mean, he's solid, but is a great talent potential. There's gonna be a potential that he could be a great forward for the Bulls, and the Bulls definitely need like a forward or setter. they have so many guards. So I mean, it's a great fit, and maybe that means Patrick Williams is gone, which is great. He could slide in at the forward position. Derek Queen for the Pelicans. Now this one's a bit confusing. I don't like this trade that they made with the Hawks, where they had to trade their first round pick from next year, which could be another lottery pick in another stat class for the Hawks. The Hawks have been doing really good recently, trading for Porzingis, by the way. I will talk about the three trades: Poole, Porzingis, and Holiday after I talk about the draft. But that is a great trade for the Hawks. And for the Pelicans, I guess they could use another center to back up Yves Missy. He was pretty solid last year. But Derek Queen is another different type of center. He is a really good offensive center, like a really solid bag offensively. So maybe that with Zion would be a fun combination. 14, Carter Bryant is a really great pick for the Spurs. Another player who has solid potential and he can contribute right away. He has great shooting, the defense, another 3-and-3 wing like Cedric Howard, and the Spurs just getting more depth. This is just great for the Spurs. Thomas Schwarber for the Oklahoma City Thunder is also pretty good. He is a really good defender. He can possibly shoot a little too. So that would be great for the Thunder, who, as you saw, like without Chet and Hartenstein, they like weren't really that good. And like Chet and Hartenstein are kind of like, can't play together maybe in the finals. Like they didn't play too much. So adding another center definitely behind those two would be great. Schwarber is going to be a great pick. Now, 16, Young Hansen. This was a really big surprise. And it's even crazier that they traded it, the Grizzlies, to the Portland Trailblazers, because Portland has like 5 centers. And maybe they trade Robert Williams, DeAndre Ayton, and Dwight Reef. So it will be Clingan and Young. But that would be really good if they do that. But it's a bit of a reach. They could have gotten him maybe even later in the draft and traded later. But I've seen some highlights of him, and he looks pretty solid, I'm not going to lie. Maybe he could develop to a solid player, but I feel like this is a big reach for now. And at 17, Joan Berninger from France is another great player for the Wolves. Now, I actually thought the Wolves should have drafted someone like Walter Payton Jr. or Yaki Jonas, but Joan is also a player that could help them with their center position, as Naz Reid might be gone in free agency, so maybe they draft him just in case he's gone. Even if Naz is not gone, maybe Rudy Gobert is getting traded. So, yeah, just adding more forward depth, center depth. 18, going to the Jazz, I believe, Walter Clayton Jr. Now, this is another great pick. The Jazz just need more players right now, the young players. And Walter Clayton Jr. not that young, but he's shown that he can score. He's shown in college that he was one of the best players in the college NCAA, and he could be someone like Jalen Brunson, who was a pretty old player when he came into the league, but still after some years he started to become like a great player. And this is a great pick for the Jazz as well. I like this pick for the Jazz. He is going to be paired up with like Isaiah Collier, Keontae George, and maybe they definitely would trade like their other veterans like Con Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, so give more space for Clayton to play. Traore for the Nets, Nolan Traore. I feel like they already got Demon. I'm a bit confused why would they get Traore as well. I mean, I guess they need more guards because they literally don't have a point guard. D'Angelo Russell's gone. I don't know who else is their point guards. Forgot. I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch that many Nets games. But I don't know, man. They could have drafted someone like Will Riley, SNUL. Like just someone that is a more of like a different position. 20, great pick. Jakob Jonas for the Heat. He's going to help them with their playmaking. They didn't really have a point guard playmaker. And yeah, it's just another young player to build upon this core. Will Riley going to the Wizards. Another great scorer for the Wizards. They're drafting a good young core right here. The Drake Powell to the Nets, alongside with Ben Surratt and Danny Wolf at 22, 26, and 27. I feel like Drake Powell and Danny Wolf are pretty good picks. But Ben Surratt, they already drafted 2 point guards. They drafted another one. I'm not going to lie. I do not like that at all. Like, they could have drafted some other forwards, possibly, like Rasheed Fleming. Even like Liam McNeely. Just do a variety of positions instead of drafting 3 point guards. But for the 23 and 24 and 25 picks, they're all pretty good picks right here. Asa Newell going to the Hawks. He was projected to be around lottery, so I like this pick for the Hawks, just adding more depth to their forward position. I feel like the Hawks are going to be a surprise team next year. They're going to make the playoffs next year. Nick Clifford for the Kings is also another great pick. He is a ready player for a win-now team, and the Kings are trying to win, I guess. But Clifford just adds another player with high motor, solid passer and defender as well. And then Jace Richardson for the Orlando Magic. I like this too. Just traded Cole Anthony, so they kind of need another point guard. They were starting like Corey Joseph in the playoffs or something like that. Jace is a scorer as well. They need more three-point shooting. This is a great pick for them. Then Hugo Gonzalez, Liam McNeely, and Yannick Conan Niederhauser. I feel like these are all projects for the Celtics. Hugo, I don't really know. He has potential, so maybe with this season not being a season that would be expected to be a championship because of injuries and trades, maybe he could develop to be a solid role player. Liam McNeely going to the Hornets. I think there's a pretty solid pick for the Hornets, just adding more shooting, more depth. And then Yannick for the Clippers. I mean, he could maybe be their backup center. It is a solid pick, but they could have drafted some other centers too. And then finally, let me just talk about the trades. I really like the Porzingis trade for the Hawks. Hawks just traded Terrence Mann and George Niang, which is not really much. They take a bet on Kristaps Porzingis, who has been really good besides the playoffs last year with his illness, but he seems to be 100% healthy now, and they didn't really need to trade much. He's a free agent, so if it doesn't work out, they could let him go. And they still haven't used their trade exception, which they could add some other players like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Then for another Celtics trade, the Jrue Holiday trade, I really like this trade for the Celtics. They take a flyer on Anthony Simons in this year, and I feel like he's going to fit well in this offense with his ability to shoot the 3 ball, but his defense is not good at all. So, I mean, for the Celtics, it's going to be a big hit on defense with trading Jrue Holiday. But they get a young player and picks for Jrue Holiday, who is a pretty bad contract in the next few years because he's going to be making 30-something million when he's pretty old. So I think that it's going to be not really a good trade for the Blazers because I don't know what's going on. Maybe they retrade Jrue Holiday, but I guess they wanted to compete now, and Jrue is a great defender who they could definitely add to their core, I guess. But I feel like the Blazers have a really good young core, so I don't think they should keep Jrue Holiday. But their defense is about to be insane with Toumani Camara and Donovan Clingan plus Jrue. Finally, the Jordan Poole trade. It is confusing, but I like it for both teams. Jordan Poole maybe can revive his career in New Orleans, and they didn't need to trade that much. Just CJ McCollum and a few picks. Khalil Olynyk. And they get a Sadiq Bey, who has been kind of forgotten, but he was a solid role player for the Pistons. Taking a flyer on him, who tore his ACL last year, so he wasn't able to play. And then for the Wizards, this is a bad trade at first, but CJ is gone next season, so they have $100 million in cap space. I mean, it is good. They could maybe get some veterans, or maybe they could just use like some of that cap space for other things. Just having cap space is useful, and they don't need to pay CJ McCollum. So maybe it is good for some veteran leadership for this year for their young core. So that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.